In a world where the car memo seems to be, can I upsize that? It's rather refreshing to be hopping into the updated Audi S3 Sportback this week, which sees improved engine outputs and technology to this popular small car. It does face some heavy-hitting competition though, so let's see what this hot hatch has to offer. The A3 has 3 grades for its Sportback hatchback, and the S technically sits in the middle of the lineup before you jump into the performance RS3. The closest rival is the Volkswagen Golf R because they share the same platform and similar underpinnings. Surprisingly, our test vehicle isn't that much more expensive than that model, and that makes this the more affordable option when you compare it to its other rivals, the BMW M135 and the Mercedes-AMG A35. Some of the feature highlights include electric and heated front seats, Napa leather upholstery, updated technology and engine outputs, wireless phone connectivity, and a 15-speaker Sonos 3D surround sound system. Despite this firmly sitting within the premium end of the hot hatch market, does miss a few premium features like ventilated front seats, a heated steering wheel, heated rear outboard seats, and even a sunroof, which its BMW rival does sport. And the power tailgate feature with kick function that this model's been fitted with tacks on an extra $660 to the overall price tag. And that feature, at least, I think should be standard at this grade level. But the full specs are in my detailed written review at carsguide.com.au if you need more info. The S3 Sportback is small, but with the S design features like the stylized blacked out grille, matrix LED headlights, quad exhaust, and 19-inch alloys with their red brake calipers, this still looks quite athletic and fun. So yes, it's compact, but it's fun sized, and that makes this have some serious road presence. The interior of the S3 Sportback looks fabulous with its ambient lighting, sharply styled dashboard, and driver-focused cockpit. The front seats look quite sporty with their integrated headrests, and I really love the feel of the Napa leather upholstery, and I quite like the contrasting red stitching. The technology looks high-end as you'd expect, with a 10.1-inch touchscreen multimedia display and a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster taking center stage. The lack of a sunroof though, coupled with the black headliner, does make this small cabin space feel a little bit gloomy at times, but it's still a cabin that you'd like to spend some time in. Like most hatches, you get the most space up front, and while it does feel a little bit cozy still, it doesn't feel cramped for occupants up here. Access to this row is pretty good still because the apertures are so wide in the doors, but it does sit low, so expect a few grunts if you're tall. The front seats are firm but still really comfortable with all of their available adjustments, and I really like the expandable under-thigh supports. The storage is taken care of by a glove box, small middle console, a couple of drink and cup holders, as well as a dedicated phone cradle. It's about what you would expect for a car of this size, but it is pretty easy to keep the interior neat and tidy with those options. Charging options are pretty good throughout the car with 2 USB-C ports in both rows, and up front you also get a wireless charging pad. The multimedia system is well laid out and really clear on its graphics. It's an easy one to wrap your head around. I really like that it's got wireless Apple CarPlay. It was super simple to connect to, and it's maintained a steady connection this week. And there's also wireless Android Auto for those users too. The built-in sat-nav is easy to use, and I really like that the directions can be pulled through to the digital instrument cluster. The Sonos surround sound system is also really good, and my son has definitely enjoyed our little concerts on the way to school this week. This rear row definitely reminds you that you are in a small car, and it is on the cramped side of cozy for my 168cm height. My husband, who's much taller than I am, just laughed at me when I suggested that he try it out for himself. It's probably best to think of this row as a sometimes seats for adults and only 2 adults only. The wheel arch also bites into the door aperture, which means that access isn't as good as the front either, but it's not unexpected for the car's size. The storage and amenities aren't too bad back here. You get a couple of mat pockets, drink bottle holders and cup holders, as well as a fold down armrest. You also get directional air vents, and you get temperature control, but not fan control, which is a little bit curious. And you also get those USB-C ports that I mentioned before. The boot space is actually pretty practical because of the wide boot aperture and the fact that the boot lip isn't too tall, so it's still pretty easy to slide things in and out of this model. However, it does feature the smallest boot capacity compared to its rivals at just 325 litres. You can bump it up to 1,145 litres when you fold the rear row, and the rear row does have a handy 40-20-40 split. And like I mentioned, you do get a powered tailgate in this model for additional cost, and a tyre repair kit is housed underneath the floor. The S3 Sportback features the Quattro badge, so it's an all-wheel drive and pairs a tweaked 7-speed automatic transmission with a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo-petrol engine. The update sees improved engine outputs alongside the introduction of a rear torque splitter. That means this now has a gutsy 245 kilowatts of power and 420 newton-meters of torque available, and gives it a 0 to 100 kilometer sprint of just 4.7 seconds. The S3 Sportback has an official combined fuel cycle usage figure of 7.9 litres per 100 kilometres and a 55-litre fuel tank, which gives this a theoretical driving range of up to 696 kilometres. All of its rivals sort of hover around those figures, so that's not unexpected and pretty good overall. After doing 2 longer trips plus my normal urban driving, my real world usage has popped out at 8 litres per 100 kilometres. And that's so close to the claimed figure, so I'm really happy with that figure. This sounds mean and totally delivers on that sound promise. Power is effortlessly delivered. Acceleration feedback is almost instantaneous. You can really put your foot down and go in this, obviously within the parameters of the law, but this is super fun and I've really enjoyed driving it, especially in the city. And it handles beautifully in the sense that it can take corners at speed. The wide footprint makes it feel like you're really hugging the road surface. And the only time that there's maybe a little bit of wobble through the rear frame is when you're hitting really heavy rains. But outside of that, it feels pretty comfortable and knows what it's doing. The lowered sport suspension and wide tyres does mean that you get quite a lot of road feedback in this. And even when you're not going higher speeds, just around town, I did find that I was repeating myself a few times for my son in the back. The visibility is what you would expect for a model of this size. None of the pillars felt like they got in the way of my driving position. And I do feel like I have a good visual out the front and sides. You just feel really small when you're sitting next to an SUV at the stop sign or traffic lights. With its compact size and front and rear parking sensors, this is a really friendly car to park, and especially when you're in a small city car park. I like that the reversing camera is very clear. However, I am surprised that at this grade level, it doesn't come with a 360-degree view camera system as standard. The S3 isn't covered by its 2-wheel drive siblings 5-star ANCAP safety rating, but it is well equipped with safety features including side exit assist, rear cross traffic alert and adaptive cruise control. It only has 6 airbags and is missing the front center airbag, but none of the driver assist features are intrusive for daily driving, which I always appreciate. If you're after the full safety specs, they are in my written review at carsguide.com.au. Audi offers the S3 with a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, which is on par with its Euro rivals. You can pre-purchase a 5-year cap price servicing program for $2,890, which is reasonable for the class and cheaper than the pay-as-you-go option. However, you can extend your service and warranty periods for an extra 2 years with the Audi Advantage package, and that offers good value overall. Servicing intervals are reasonably spaced at every 12 months or 15,000 kilometres, whichever occurs first. The updated Audi S3 Sportback is a fun-sized dynamo with impressive outputs and athletic roadside presence and manners. It is missing a few items for its grade level, but overall its compact size and gutsy engine makes this a fun combination for those who don't want to compromise on performance but still need to get into something small, which is why it gets a score that's on your screen now. If you're after the full review, check it out at carsguide.com.au. I'll see you next week.